Welcome to Storytime Speed Paint, where I write and tell a fictional story to get you through the video, and a goofy picture calls for a goofy story. Once in a land upon a minute, there were two young whippersnappers named Zachariah Lon Vinton and Doug. Now, Doug and Vinton had been friends for quite some time. How long, you ask? 2 years? 3 years? 4 days? I don't know. That's not important information. Anyway, Doug and Zachariah, who we'll call Zach because that rolls off the tongue better, were having an argument. Zach told Doug that he'd give him his Power Rangers the movie DVD in exchange for a kidney transplant, not thinking that the situation would ever happen. But after enough boozed up Kool-Aids, he needed it done. I'm not a doctor, I'm a writer, so I don't know if that's how it works medically. So the transplant happened and Doug was like, "Aw man, I'm so stoked to finally get my hands on a Power Rangers DVD." And Zach was like, "Now hold on a minute." And Doug was like, "You backstabbing fiend, we're not friends anymore." So Doug stormed off, kicking the door on his way out. After Zach checked out of the hospital, he called an Uber, because that's how I assume you get around when you don't have anyone you know to drive you. On the way home, he thought about how he betrayed the trust of his friend. How could he live with himself? So when he got home, he opened his gun safe where he kept his shotgun, compound bow, katana, and Power Rangers in the movie. To his utter horror, the DVD was gone. Zach's heart dropped. The only possible explanation was that Doug stole it. "That two-faced thieving sorry excuse for a fictional story character," he shouted. So he went to Doug's room on the other side of the property, aka the shed. "Doug!" yelled Zach. Doug put down his popcorn and looked at Zach. "Yeah?" he responded with his mouth full. Zach looked at the TV and saw none other than Power Rangers the movie playing. "I knew you stole my DVD," Zach shouted. Doug swallowed. "What are you talking about? This is Blu-ray," he said, holding up the case. Zach suddenly felt ashamed, not only for going back on his word, but for accusing his friend of something so heinous. Zach apologized and they went to look for the DVD. Where was it, you may ask? Why, their neighbor was using it as a mouse pad. As for the moral of the story, go back on your word and your neighbor will take your crap and give you a meltdown. The end. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Storytime Speed Paint. If you have any suggestions for any more artwork or for stories, please feel free to let me know.